All right, everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are thinking about,
Yeah.
especially if you're climbing that academic ladder.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to the top?
Hmm.
How do you become a full professor? We've got some fantastic insights.
Right.
Straight from Jarrod Kanizay. He's the CEO over at academicjobs.com.
And they really are the experts on this stuff.
Absolutely.
So we're going to deep dive into what he has to say. Now, it's not just about checking boxes,
Well,
PhD, publications.
right.
It's about understanding the whole game. What really makes someone stand out?
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, think of it like leveling up in a video game. There's the obvious steps, but then there's those hidden achievements, the secret strategies, the pros use. So let's break this down with
Yeah, let's do it. Let's demystify this path a little bit.
laying the foundation.
Yeah.
What are those early career must-haves?
All right, so obviously, you got to have that PhD. I mean, it's like
Entry level.
ticket to the game.
Exactly. And then in a lot of fields, you're looking at a postdoc too. Right.
But it's not just about like checking that box on your CV. It's about using that time
Yeah.
to really hone those research skills.
Mm.
Find your specific area. Build those connections. You know, it's like crafting your origin story as a scholar.
Well, I like that.
What makes you unique?
Yeah. What's your superpower?
What are you bringing to the table that nobody else can?
Okay, so you've got that foundation. And
Yeah.
you're starting to climb that ladder.
Okay.
You know, lecturer, assistant professor, associate, and then boom, full professor.
Exactly.
So what are some of those maybe less obvious things that can really make or break you
Okay.
as you're climbing?
It's not just a sprint, it's a marathon.
Oh.
You're constantly leveling up your skills.
That's a good point, because you wouldn't run a marathon in flip-flops.
No, you wouldn't.
You need the right gear, the right
Yeah.
strategy. So what's that gear look like in academia? What's the secret sauce?
Okay, so I'd say one of the biggest things is impact. And that goes beyond just research.
It's teaching. It's leadership. It's a whole package.
Okay.
So with research, for example, it's not just about how MECH you publish. It's about what kind of impact that research has. Are you influencing your field? Are you shaping policies? Is your work actually being used
Oh, wow.
out there in the real world?
Yeah, because you could have tons of papers. But if they're just sitting on a shelf, what's the point?
It's about, so what factor? So what does this research actually do?
Do you have an example of some research that really made waves in your field?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So there's this study I remember back when I was really getting into my area of expertise, and it completely changed the way we thought about this one fundamental concept.
Wow.
And it's still cited today.
So it really had that lasting impact.
And absolutely, it was a game changer.
All right, so research impact. What about teaching? Because I've heard some people say that it's kind of secondary to research.
Oh, no.
You know, when it comes to promotions, what do you think say?
Teaching is absolutely essential. We're talking engaging your students, encouraging them to think critically, trying new teaching methods, and of course, getting those great student evaluations.
That's almost like, imagine you're at a conference and people are talking about you. Would they say, oh yeah, that professor, their classes are incredible.
Exactly. It's about leaving a mark, inspiring your students.
Yeah, making it memorable, not just going through the motions.
Right.
Okay, so we've got impactful research, engaging teaching. What else goes into that secret sauce?
Well, don't underestimate leadership and service.
Oh yeah, things like
Committee work,
right.
mentoring junior faculty, taking on editorial roles.
Yeah.
These might not seem as flashy as publishing a big paper, but they show you're a team player. You're committed to your institution and to your field.
It's about building that reputation.
Exactly.
As someone who gets things done, supports others.
It's a great way to network.
Oh, yeah.
Build those connections.
And speaking of things that institutions value, we can't forget about grant funding. Academicjobs.com always emphasizes that.
Right.
Well, why is it so important?
Well, it's not just about the money,
Yep.
although that's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
It's about proving that your research is not only interesting, but also actually doable.
Okay.
That you can attract resources, manage them effectively, and actually produce results.
So it's like convincing dragons to invest in your quest,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
hopefully with fewer fire-breathing incidents.
Hopefully.
Now, you mentioned academicjobs.com, and they provide all these insights into what universities are looking for. But each university is different, right?
Oh, absolutely. They each have their own unique culture, their own priorities,
Yeah.
and their own criteria.
So it's almost like choosing your character class in the game.
Right.
Each university has its own
Exactly.
skill tree, its own play style.
Yeah.
So how do you figure out which one's the right fit for you?
Well, that's where a resource like academicjobs.com can be super valuable. They've got tons of information about different universities, their research strengths, their teaching philosophies, even insights into their promotion processes.
So you can really do your homework
Exactly.
before you even apply.
Yeah.
Now, last but not least, let's talk about continuous self-improvement.
Yeah,
Because academia, it's a constantly evolving world.
absolutely.
So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
You got to be a lifelong learner. Stay up to date with the latest research, go to conferences, take advantage of professional development opportunities.
It's like our skills and knowledge
Right.
need updates, just like software,
Exactly.
to stay relevant
Oh,
and exciting. So to recap, becoming a full professor, it's a journey. It needs a strong foundation, impactful work in research teaching, leadership, getting those grants, understanding the different universities, and a commitment to always learning and growing.
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
But it's also incredibly rewarding. You get to shape young minds, push the boundaries of knowledge, and make a real difference in your field.
And if you are ready
Mm.
to take that next step, academicjobs.com is the place to go. They've got senior professor positions
Yeah.
at amazing universities,
Yeah.
both locally and globally. So go check them out.
I'd say before we wrap up, one question to leave you with.
Ooh, I like it.
What's one thing you can do this week to start building your path to full professor?
That's a good one. Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.